Ça c'est bon?
Oui, c'est bon. I'm glad that's not at my house.
Hey, como ça va, y'all? It's the Coo Coo Cajun. This afternoon, we're going to visit some family in Ville Platte, and normally I bring a salty dish. I volunteered to bring dessert. So if y'all saw a post a while back, I showed a picture of a honey bun cake. One of my followers sent me a recipe. I modified it a little bit. Everyone wants to know that recipe, so I'm gonna bake one today, and I'm gonna put the recipe in the comments. So let's get started. First, we're gonna put in a box of this yellow butter cake mix. Put that in the bowl. We're gonna go in with 4 eggs, a half a cup of melted butter, and 12 ounces of sour cream. Don't ask me why, sour cream, I did not know that goes in a cake mix, but I tested it and it works. It probably keeps it moist or something. What I've learned is that there's a science to baking. It ain't like cooking a gravy. You can't just throw what you want in there and expect it to come out all right. All right, we can go with a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a half a teaspoon of butter extract. I'm gonna mix that up. All right, we're gonna pour half of this mixture in a greased up 9x13 pan. We're gonna spread that out evenly. All right, now we're gonna make our brown sugar cinnamon filling that goes in the middle of the cake, and I put on top of the cake too. So for our cinnamon filling, we're going with 1.5 cups of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and 1/4 cup of melted butter, and 2 pinches of salt. Gonna mix that up. It's supposed to look like some wet sand from Holly Beach. We got our wet sand from Grand Isle. We're gonna put half of this kind of spread across this cake. It's not super easy to do. You kind of gotta be careful with it. My daughters helped me with this last time. I don't know how she did it so well. All right, we got our cinnamon mixture kind of spread out in between the cake. We're gonna go back with the second half of the cake batter. All right, now we're gonna go back on top of it with our Rutherford sand cinnamon mixture. Sorry, I'm gonna have to do this with my hands. All right, we're gonna try to kind of spread that cinnamon across the top. All right, there you go. We got our oven preheated to 350. We're gonna bake it for around 45 minutes. And then you kind of put your fork in the middle. Make sure it's cooked all the way. All right, while that's baking, we're gonna make our icing for the top of the cake. So we got 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. We got 2 tablespoons of melted butter. We're gonna go with a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla extract and about 2 tablespoons of this sweetened condensed milk. I'm gonna mix that up. All right, there you go. That's the icing for the cake. You know when you get some cinnamon rolls at Walmart and you bake that on a Saturday morning for your kids and you taste the icing before you put it on? That's what this is. Some good stuff. All right, we're gonna let that finish baking and we'll come back. Thank you. I'm not putting that in there, it's just funny. All right, we had that baking in the oven, ended up being about 45 minutes. I'm gonna pour a little bit of condensed milk. Give it about 1/3 cup. Just kind of drizzle that over the top, like that. It's gonna soak down into the cake, moisten it up a little bit before we go on top of our icing. Now for the final touch, we're gonna go over it with our icing. We're just gonna spread that over the top, comme ça. OMG, y'all. Spread that around, let it fall into the sides. Oh yeah. My family ain't gonna know what hit them when I show up with a cake instead of some rice and gravy. And there you go, y'all. A honey bun cake. We're gonna let that cool off and we're gonna head to the Platte.
Yeah, that's some buttered honey bun, but listen.
We got Coo Coo Senior right here fixing to test out the honey bun cake.
Wait, I wanna see. Oh, no.
Ça c'est bon?
Oui, c'est bon. I'm glad that's not at my house.
All right, and there y'all have it. We in the big Platte, and Coo Coo Senior said the honey bun cake passed the test. We'll see y'all later.